Alright. Hello everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be in the world. I am BelthicGaming, and today I'm going to showcase Titus the Fox on the Game Boy. So, you've probably already seen a Titus game earlier. They made a great game called Superman 64. So, we're going to change color palette here to get some nice black in here instead of purple. Without further ado, we are going to get started in 3, 2, 1, and go. So on this, we're going to be doing easy. I learned from my mistakes back in April when I showcased this game for RGL's marathon, and I did it on the hard difficulty, which for a marathon is oddly just not the correct way to do it. So this time around we're doing it on easy. So the difference between hard and easy Titus the Fox on Game Boy is that easy mode runs at a pretty leisurely pace, as you can see right now. Hard mode, everything runs at like 2.5 times speed. So there are 6 different worlds in Titus the Fox Game Boy, 2 normal stages and a bonus stage. So a lot of this, you're probably saying like, yeah, this game looks pretty bad, but what makes the game bad? So you saw in stage 1 there is a hidden passage to basically shortcut the entire stage. Come later stages in this game, that's how you have to complete the game. So, and there's no way of it telling you what needs to be done. So we'll be finding secret passages along the way that, unless you knew they existed, you would never know how to finish the game. And blind, this game took me about 2.5 hours, and one stage in particular took me about an hour to figure out how to complete. So that stage is coming up here relatively quick. This is probably the second hardest stage in the run, simply because you really don't want to take any damage at the start of it. Also, those are falling blocks if you trigger that first block. So if you step on that first block, the floor starts to fall away, and the floor outruns how fast Titus actually walks. So here, you wouldn't know to go down unless you probably played, and of course there's a little pit, a little trap at the end there. If I were to pick up that box and try to jump over these pits here, the box adds extra weight to my jump, so there's actually physics involved in this game, where I wouldn't be able to make it over that jump, and I would fall into the pit of spikes. Not die, but I do have limited health, so if I look here, I have 2 energy, so I can take one more hit without being in fear of dying. So typically you want to keep that padding right there for that skeleton boy. Alright, so this is the easiest stage of the game. So typically this little path right here never triggers right away, so we got pretty lucky. But the trigger is that first row of blocks that opens up, and this literally takes us to the end of the stage. Otherwise, you have to go through a pretty dauntless stage. It's actually pretty tough, and it's not very fun. So these bonus stages, the point of these bonus stages is every 100 of those blocks that you collect, you get a 1-up. Which sounds great, but it costs us a lot of time, so we try and kill ourselves as fast as possible. Stage 1 bonus is the greatest because you can just jump into a pit and die right away. Pressing forward, we have to try and find spike pits to die onto. And then you have to wait for Titus to fall all the way down to the bottom of the actual screen. 3-1, this is the hardest stage in the run, simply because of mayonnaise mechanics. So if you've ever played Super Mario Bros. 1, this should look familiar. So we're just gonna walk across the top of the screen, because that's what we do in Nintendo games, apparently. So you see those platforms right there with the white goo over them. I call them mayonnaise platforms. So here we're going to trigger another hidden passage that no one would ever know about. So what this mayonnaise is actually supposed to be ice, I believe, or some sort of slippery stuff. I don't know how else to explain it. So we're gonna clip up there. So now if we actually fall into one of those pits, we will die because there's no bottom. Take a little intentional damage there just in case that fly were to hit us, and we're through the hardest stage of the speedrun. This stage is actually pretty fun on hard mode because it takes a lot of liberties with your jumping. The controls may look pretty fluid, however they're very floaty and they're actually pretty stiff. So we're just gonna hug against this wall here, dodge the fly. Everything is kind of slightly delayed. Even if I press jump, I have to wait about a quarter of a second before Titus will actually listen to me. And the jump is it's like if you had a Game Genie back in the day, and when you're playing Super Mario Bros. 1 and you put it on the moon jump physics for Super Mario Bros., that's kind of how the jumping feels in Titus. And the mayonnaise platforms require you to have momentum pressing forward, so you have to, if you try to make that jump at a dead standstill, you don't make that jump and you fall down to the bottom, which you have to reclimb that whole segment over again. And then we have this random exit right there. So you think you can just, you know, fall in here and die? No. That would be the easy way out for Titus the Fox. Here we have to we have to find these pits. Luckily for us, the pits are pretty quick in this one. I've never seen a character so happy to die before, so it's always a plus. You also notice that we don't have any extra lives now. When you die at bonus games, it counts towards your life total. And I've been told that this game has limited continues. I personally have never game overed in the game, even blind, because it is a relatively easy game. But there are apparently limited continues, so that's always a very fun thing to have. So here what we gotta do, we're gonna introduce the ball. And if you think the ball can kill anything, you are very terribly mistaken. Typically you would press B to throw a ball, but in this game you have to hold down and B to drop the ball in its place and use it to bounce up on platforms. Hopefully in World 5 I can show you a glitch with the cornering of said balls where you can only have to jump twice instead of 3 times to make it. So this stage, not hard, but if you slip up, you pretty much have to restart it. So we're at the top of the stage right now, and if I were to fall at any point from here, we would be restarting this entire stage. So it's a little scary of a stage to do quickly in a speedrun setting. And this skeleton right there, like his hitbox may not look like it goes into that platform, very much goes into that platform. That scorpion there will trick you because it stops when you think like, oh, it's gonna come at me, I'm just gonna jump over it. It stops and turns around right then and there. This is the stage that took me an hour to figure out how to beat. So you're gonna see why right now. So it relatively looks easy to start. You jump up here, you know, you follow some platforms, and you're probably just like, Belthic, this doesn't look very hard at all. Well, you're right, until you get to about right here. So here we're gonna take this ladder, and if you don't know, you have to take this section right here. It's a hidden passage, and the game does not tell you that there is a hidden passage you have to take there. And as you walk through this underground segment right here, we are going to trigger a hidden ladder that, again, the game does not tell you exists. Guess where that hidden ladder is? We found it. So you have to know to randomly jump into a right side of the wall to trigger a hidden ladder to access the end of the stage. Here we are in a bonus game. A lot of these, even if you duck, you still collect 2 of them, so it really just doesn't matter at all. In World 5, you can't kill yourself at all when in a bonus stage, so that's going to be a good time. So here we're just going to lay on the spikes and just wait for the end. Alright, so if you think all the cryptic hidden passages were done, nope. So now we're in, so here now we're gonna dodge some chompy piranha plant, and we're gonna take this ball with us. And the reason we're gonna take this ball with us is because we actually have to go up eventually. You see that there are a lot of ladders and a lot of platforms, but there's only one ladder that really matters, and that ladder happens to be right here. In the middle of nowhere. So here we jump back down and grab another ball. And this time we don't get the luxury of jumping up it, so now we have to climb up the ladder normally. Alright. So this ball should be pretty lined up to that edge. Oh, we didn't get it quite right. That's fine. And there's the ending right there. Level 5 part 2. So here we're just gonna crawl through the first basically half of the stage. This is outside of stage 2, this is the easiest stage in the game. Because there's a pipe at the very start of the stage that takes you to the top of the stage up there, and there's a bunch of blocks that you can just walk across, and there's 0 enemies up there whatsoever. And then eventually there's a block right there that just goes away and you can just fall down. So this is the best bonus stage because you notice that there's a timer in the bottom right corner of the screen. And if you remember before, we could walk through these blocks. Now we can't walk through them. The developers were like, you know, we really want people to complete these bonus stages and grab all the squares that they can, so we should make these blocks on the ground solid instead of being able to walk through them. Very consistent programming with Titus. Only the best. When you see that fox head on a loading screen, you know you're in for a treat. So we're at the end of the stage, but you don't see the end of the stage because it's hidden behind the timer. So hope you know just to keep holding right, because I found that exit on accident in my blind playthrough. So here we are in the final world. It probably looks pretty similar. It looks probably very similar to World 1. I feel like the developers get exceptionally lazy because it is exactly the same layout as 1.1. The only difference is that they added 1 extra building. So in this building here, we're just gonna go straight up. Wait for Hatman to keep walking here. And then this kid throws bottles, but I don't understand why. And you can miss that exit and follow it down to the bottom and have to reclimb that whole house. This is the final stage of the game, and time will be coming up here shortly. So here, a lot of times people have no idea what they're doing. They'll either think you have to jump up here and then bring that ball up here. Honestly, all you have to do is just hop up here, and you can climb ladders while jumping. So you just take a couple leap of faith here, and just keep going. The issue at this stage is if any missed jumps again, you fall to the bottom, and you get to restart the entire stage. So there's your first big jump. This jump here really doesn't matter, but the next coming jump does. So we have a kid that throws bottle right up here. And now this next jump, we have to hit pretty precisely because the exit is in between this segment. And if you're asking how you're not supposed to get hit right there, I couldn't tell you. But that is Titus the Fox for Game Boy. It's time. So I hope you enjoy. So the end of it is Titus meets his girlfriend, finds his girlfriend, saves his girl. I don't know. Titus and Titus female find each other and roll credits. So every time there's a credit screen that pops up, Titus the Fox and his girlfriend pops up again. So that's the end of Titus the Fox. I hope you all enjoyed that treat of a game.